global organizations that we work with as executive and leadership coaches, they offer us the privilege and the opportunity often to work with amazing talent and amazing performers who also have that commitment and drive to get up early, to go to the gym, to work out, to have the right energy, to get through the day, to have clear thinking. And one of the things that we hear that comes up, in fact it came up this week, so that's why it's ringing in my ears a bit, is we're working on, once they get there, once they have the commitment and all those things lined up and they've practiced it and they understand it and it's a commitment and it becomes a choice of, well, I don't want to do anything else. This is where I feel at my best. But there is now a question over how do we get these humans to sustain it?
Yeah.
Because if the environment that they're in is stable, that's brilliant. So if they have the right coach around them and the right support systems. But the humans that we work with, and I'm guessing you do too, have a lot of external pressures that are unpredictable and unforecastable, but they show up. And so their young son is ill, and so they were awake last night, and so that now impacts their ability to have the same energy and sustain it, and that allows for a tiny little doubt show up of, oh my God, now I'm performing differently, and are they going to see me do this? How do you manage that winning mindset and win tension when things aren't as supportive or aren't as stable around them? And it's nothing to do with us or the team, it's about outside.
Sure. That's a really good question. I'm going to answer that first with a story.
Great.
And then with a personal belief. So Bradley Wiggins came to the England rugby team hotel to speak with the players, and he was delivering a talk after he'd achieved the gold medal. And as part of the environment that we were trying to create with the rugby players, he came in to deliver a talk. To listen, the players were designed for the players to listen to other successful people, a little bit like what we're doing here.
Great.
And he's delivering this talk and he says, boys, you know, when I'm not training at the velodrome, every day when I'm riding around, I get to this roundabout near my house. And I get to the roundabout, and at this roundabout I have a choice. There are two, you can go left or straight over. If I go left, it's 6 more miles, 2 hill climbs, and I get back to my house 20 minutes longer.
Yeah.
If I go straight over, there are no hill climbs, more plateaus, and I get back 20 minutes earlier. Which choice do you think I make? And the rugby players sit and listen and they say, well, that's obvious. You're Sir Bradley Wiggins. You're an Olympic gold champion. You obviously choose to go left. He says, yeah, I do. It's true. I go left. But here's the thing. Every time I get to the roundabout, there are 2 voices that pop up that sit, one on my left shoulder and one on my right shoulder. And one voice says, just go over today. You're the Olympic champion. Give yourself a break. You deserve a rest. No one's watching. No one's going to know. And the other voice then comes in and has a fight and says, don't you dare think about going straight over. You think just because you've won a gold medal now you can just take a rest and have a break? That's not what winning is. And he says every single time that happens, people assume, especially now won a gold medal in the event, that being an Olympic athlete is we perform in the absence of doubt or fear or frustration or anger or disappointment or temptation or fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Right? That to me is fascinating, because what it means is, I mean, many of us can relate to that experience.
Totally.
He finished off that story, he said, mindset defines performance, but mindset is also a choice. So if I can just come back around and say, you know, what connects us despite the external distractions, which is really what we're talking about, the difficulties in life that can make for a transitory environment that we live in, and indeed affect and impact and influence performance.
Absolutely.
So one of my favorite psychologists, who's now passed on, is a guy called Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Oh yeah, he's a big favorite of ours.
We share that, right? And he has this phrase about being responsible And he breaks it down. I'm sure you've seen the talk. Responsible into 2 words: response, able. The ability to respond.
Yeah.
So the reason I think that's really powerful and important is because we can't always control these external circumstances, the people in our lives. Sometimes we face setbacks. The schedule gets disrupted. We incur injuries which might impact us to be able to play the next 2 or 3 games in a sporting context. But it's not the circumstance which defines the future. It's our choice over the circumstances. And nearly always, when I've spoken with the athletes about what keeps them going despite the setbacks, how do you continue to raise your performance?
Yeah.
It's that they have a very strong connection to their purpose, their reason why. So despite how difficult it gets, in games, if we're 2-0 down with 5 minutes to go and we've got a man sent off and it's difficult and there doesn't seem to be any hope of being able to get something out of this game, it's the players that feel very connected to this sense of purpose and why we're here and why it is that I want to do this so much. Is it for my family? Is it that I just have something inside of me that cannot quit? Is it that the pain of regret after the match, if I know that I didn't put everything in, I won't be able to sleep tonight? Whatever it is, they're connected to a purpose, a very strong purpose. And the personal belief, to finish the answer, is that normally always when the athletes are connected to a sense of a self-actualized purpose, a positive, empowering purpose, their highest sense of self, that tends to have appeared as a more enduring purpose over time.
Yeah. Love it.